Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Doom Productions podcast. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Ethan.
And this is our podcast where we talk about movies and some filmmaking stuff, maybe. And this is episode 2. So if you listen to episode 1, thank you for tuning back in. If this is your first time listening,
Welcome.
yeah, welcome.
It's almost Halloween, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So our topic today is kind of all things Halloween in October. It's that spooky season. It's that time of year where people like to watch lots of different horror movies or spooky movies or Halloween movies. And so what do you usually watch, Ethan, during this time of year?
I usually start with my palette setter, I guess. Not a palette cleanser, but a palette setter, which is Over the Garden Wall, which you introduced me to a couple of years back, which is a Cartoon Network special. I think we've talked about it before on the YouTube channel. So that one's great because it kind of encapsulates everything that is fall and Halloween. So you get scary stuff, you get kind of just like harvest vibes, kind of whimsical magic. So that's kind of where I start off. And now that that's out of the way, I kind of start going into the more slashery horror stuff. So I just this is kind of not quite on topic, but sort of is. I was at Goodwill today looking at VHSs because I've started looking for more horror movie VHSs to kind of round out that collection to have playing in the background. And I found The Island of Dr. Monroe, which has a really great VHS cover. It's like all green. It's got some crazy weird stuff on it. So
was that at the Goodwill in Tigard?
It was.
I saw it.
You saw it? Yeah, they have their whole collection.
I was shopping for props for a movie.
It was a little pricier. They also had Dune, not the
sci-fi TV
channel.
show.
I picked up that too, because Dune's almost out, so it's kind of a fun little. Yep. Might as well. So I've been trying to just collect up some cool horror movies, get those spooky vibes going in the background. I mean, I'll watch anything. My girlfriend's really big on horror movies, so I have a feeling we're going to just watch a lot of stuff throughout the whole month and just kind of whatever we're feeling that night. We'll just pick something on Netflix and go to town watching creepy movies. Yeah. I don't know. But what about you? What are you watching?
Well, usually last year I started this kind of movie calendar, if you will, of like different movies that I think fit the October Halloween season.
Nice.
And I tried to last year watch one every day, which was disrupted immediately because we filmed a feature film in 15 days in that time.
Yeah.
I can't remember the day we started, but I did a couple of like looking back at the calendar. I definitely did like the first week or so. I think I was pretty good about watching those. But then as we started filming and everything, it's like it got complicated when you're shooting a feature film, especially when you're shooting and editing and releasing it within 15 days. That's pretty difficult. But what I like, like you, I watch Over the Garden Wall a lot. I like The Adventures of Ichabod Crane and Mr. Toad. That's like kind of like a go-to.
Yeah.
Those two. Let me look. I'm looking at my movie bank right now. And I'm trying to find the one. Like, there's a couple that I usually watch for sure. Over the Garden Wall. What's the other one I just said?
Ichabod.
Yeah. Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
Sleepy Hollow, the Tim Burton movie.
That's on my list for them to watch this year. I've actually never seen it, so I've been waiting for this time of year to watch it.
It's so good.
I know, I'm excited.
It's a really good Halloween movie. Trick or Treat, the horror movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one in a while.
Monster House. What else do I have on here? I mean, obviously, like Halloween. Recently, I haven't been doing too good at watching one every day. I think the last thing. Let me look at my Letterboxd. I believe the last thing I've watched a couple this month that are like kind of Halloween-y. Mm-hmm. Harry Potter 3, The Prisoner of Azkaban. That's
it's got like werewolves
and serial killers, and it has a very Halloween vibe. That one, Sleepy Hollow, Dark Shadows, which is kind of like I don't know. It's like it kind of fits that Halloween vibe a little bit. I didn't watch it for Halloween. I just happened to watch it. But I guess looking back, it kind of fits that mold. But what I've been wanting to watch a whole bunch is like vampire stuff, like Dracula and all the versions of Dracula, pretty much, because there's a lot. Yeah, and that's kind of what I've been watching. Obviously, going into shooting another movie, it's going to be kind of difficult to do all that stuff.
Luckily, not quite the same amount of work that we normally do for shooting a feature.
Yeah, but I mean, I would love to one day be able to like sit down and watch one thing every day in October. I think October's been a very busy month for us the last few years. So it would be nice to like, in terms of filmmaking wise, so it would be nice to like not wait until October to shoot stuff.
Yeah, shoot it in September.
Yeah, and then
October off.
Yeah, take October off. That would be nice. I think that'd be fun. But that, I mean, who am I kidding? That probably won't happen.
Maybe next year.
Maybe.
What's if you could only watch one Halloween movie the rest of your life, what are you picking? We'll put you on the spot here.
That's rough.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's really rough. Honestly, it's Over the Garden Wall. And that's one of those things where I think everybody has a different idea of what a Halloween movie is. And I my kind of views is probably like a little bit different than most people.
Yeah.
Because when you think of Halloween, I think a lot of people just think, oh, it's horror, it's scary, killers and killing, and that kind of thing. And that can be Halloween to me, but what I think is more important is, I guess, I'm such a nerd. I have classifications on my list.
Oh my gosh, I'm looking at your spreadsheet right now.
So I have 3 columns. So I have a huge bank of movies.
Yeah.
Not as many as I'd like. It's only like 120 or so. I will get more eventually.
You're going to share this with me. I haven't even seen this before.
So there's 3 columns I have on here. The first column is it's set on Halloween. So if the movie's set on Halloween, it gets a checkbox.
Okay.
The column next to that is it set in October? So kind of like in the Halloween season.
Yeah.
And then the last column is like Halloween vibes.
Yeah.
Which is vague, but I think everybody knows what that means.
Yeah. I think our movie October, if you haven't seen that, that is our classification of Halloween vibes.
Yeah.
Because that goes over the whole course of the month, and it's just about it's exactly that. It's the feeling of the season. It's not there's no serial killers, there's no slashers, there's no anything like that. It's just the whimsicalness of the season. I don't know how to describe it.
Well, I'm not saying and I'm not saying that serial killers are murder. It's not that that's not Halloween, but that's not the only thing Halloween is.
No.
I think in a weird cheesy way, it's like what makes Halloween is like the vibes, like the magic of Halloween or whatever.
We're very sentimental towards it. If you haven't noticed.
We treat Halloween like other people treat Christmas. It's like if you had like, I don't know, like if you had like a Harry Potter movie without the magic. That's not a Harry Potter. That's not a magical like movie because there's no magic. So I think Halloween is a similar thing, and it's like that fantasy vibe kind of thing going on.
Totally.
For instance, there's Donnie Darko is set in October. There's scenes on Halloween, but it doesn't have Halloween vibes. So in my opinion, I don't think it feels very Halloweeny. It's more like psychological thriller, mystery. So some people might like watching it on Halloween, and it technically checks off some of those boxes, but to me, it doesn't feel Halloweeny necessarily.
Yeah.
But then there's something like Dracula, like the old 1930s Dracula movie.
Yeah.
That feels Halloweeny way more to me than Donnie Darko, even though it's not set on Halloween, it's not set in October. But that kind of magic kind of feeling is there. Those Halloween vibes, for lack of a better word.
The weird thing, I don't know if you think this, like if I can associate the color orange with the movie, it is more likely to count. Like Donnie Darko is blue to me.
Yes,
and
yes.
So it's like, nope, it doesn't get that vibe check.
Very cool, like nights, like in the movie.
Yeah.
Great movie, but like not like I don't associate it with Halloween necessarily.
Obviously, this is a very subjective way of doing this. And
Yeah.
your mileage may vary.
Because some people, they'll watch like The Shining on Halloween, but it's like The Shining is set in winter.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with Halloween? It's just about a guy killing his family, and that, I mean, to you that might be Halloweeny, and that's all cool. No problem with that. But to me, it's gotta it's as much as it can. It's got to check all those boxes of like set in Halloween, set in October, and have those Halloween vibes, which very few things have. I think. Yeah. Like Halloween, the movie, the serial killer movie. Like that first one, I kind of go back and forth on it because I don't know. It is set on Halloween. It's spooky and scary for sure. I don't know. Some days I think that it is good Halloween movie. Some days I don't, because it is focused so much on the serial killer.
Yeah. The Halloweenness of it is very peripheral.
Yes. It's set on Halloween, and you get that kind of suburban neighborhood trick-or-treating aesthetic throughout, but it's not like the focus of it. So I go back and forth, but I mean, I watch Halloween every year because, it is a great movie.
It's a classic.
But in terms of slashers go, yeah, it is that and Pumpkinhead fit the bill the most, I think, for like what a Halloween horror movie is. Yeah. I'm looking at my list and seeing if there's anything else in terms of like any ones that stand out. Because I have like Friday the 13th on here, and like the Evil Dead series.
Trick or Treat's one.
Trick or Treat, yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, Trick or Treat, of course, yeah, that one fits it very well. But it's one of those things where kind of the way I try to structure my month. I've only done this 1 year. If I were to structure this month out,
dream plan,
I would do something like I would have a kind of touchstone Halloween movie, like a movie that is very Halloweeny. So it has either strong Halloween vibes or it kind of like it's set on Halloween, around Halloween. So like Halloween, I would have Halloween. You'd watch Halloween, then I might watch Evil Dead 2 or something, or what are like I'm so bad with this. I have to look at my list. Or like Night of the Living Dead. I would watch like horror movies after Halloween, not necessarily Halloweeny movies, but horror movies, because that's what Halloween is. And maybe do that for a couple of nights. So you do Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, maybe Pumpkinhead in there. But then you punctuate, then you kind of have a strong Halloween. So like Trick or Treat's another night. Yeah. And then you have some more kind of...
You have your landmark movies, and then you kind of have the other stuff that kind of can go around it.
Like if I were like 1 week you could do like Dracula, Mummy, Frankenstein, Wolfman. Like that's a week. And the week is about like the Universal monsters or the Hammer horror monsters. Yeah. But on that Sunday or that Saturday, you punctuate it with like a really strong Halloween movie. So like you watch Trick or Treat, or you watch like Monster House, or Pumpkinhead, or whatever have you. It's so hard to like not. I'm trying to it's kind of saying I'm being vague right now, but like it's hard to visualize this hypothetical.
Well, what's great is it's structurable and you can change it up every year. Like obviously you can't watch every single one because there's so many. So what's great is you can kind of cycle things through every couple of years. So
you'd want to structure it like you do a playlist, like a song playlist.
Exactly.
Like you kind of want it to be this kind of ride that you wave, because you wouldn't necessarily want to watch like really slow, drawn out movies all within the same week necessarily. You would kind of want those spaced out, similar to how you would want like. Listen, I would love it if there were a lot of perfect Halloween movies out there, like Trick or Treat or like Over the Garden Wall or whatever, I would love it if there were 31 Halloween movies. Yeah. That just doesn't exist. Yeah. So we have to settle, and we have to pepper those throughout the month and kind of space it out in a way where it the in-between movies, I guess I would call it, they build off the strong Halloween movie that came before it, but then they still lead to whatever's coming next. So if I was going to watch, let's see. Let's say you were going to watch, Halloween the movie on a Sunday, and then you were going to watch, It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown on Saturday. in between that, you would probably watch some strong serial killer movies on like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So like Friday the 13th or like Dracula, Scream maybe. But then you would want it to get, but a good transition would be like the Universal Monsters and then watch Hotel Transylvania that Friday.
Yeah.
Because that transitions, that goes from like serial killer to horror monster movie to kids movie with all of those monsters in, or Abbott and Costello meet.
Yeah, Abbott and Costello, that's what I was thinking.
And then you watch Charlie Brown. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Between the animation vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's another thing I haven't even talked. I have another one for Halloween.
One? Oh my goodness.
I have another spreadsheet of Halloween TV specials, which you could like package together in your night and like watch those at once.
Yes.
Seems like very niche topic. I don't know.
It's just Jordan's mad ramblings about Halloween.
I want to know if anyone else thinks about the month like this, because I do it every single year. I mean, I don't do this, but I think about this every year. Like if I were to structure out my month of like Halloween movie watching.
Each year, I need to get a list of this because each year my interests of Halloween change.
Yeah.
Like what the kind of movie, like I have an interest in 2 right now of like witch theme movies.
Yeah.
So like The Witch, that movie I really want to watch again this year. Something like Hereditary, I think, kind of fits in that vibe too, with kind of the witchcrafty. But then also, I'm really interested in like the classic slashers, like the Friday the 13th, the Halloweens. Like those 2 kind of have my attention right now. So, but next year I'm going to feel something completely different. So this having something like this to kind of like help pluck out those movies would be really cool.
And it's kind of like, the idea is you want to find movies that are like really Halloween and strong with the Halloween magic or whatever.
Yeah.
But again, those just don't exist. So you kind of have to structure your month based around like, okay, where am I going to put the strongest Halloween movies peppered throughout? And then what do you fill in between?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And it's kind of difficult. It's kind of hard because it's like, how do you get from like Trick or Treat to like Wallace and Gromit: Curse of the Were-Rabbit? Like how do you get from there to there? And I'm sure there's a perfect way to do that. Like I'm sure there's like a map of like, go from here to this movie, this movie, this movie, this movie, but
it's uncharted territory. You got to find it.
I know.
And it's going to do something different for every person.
I know.
It's a life's journey right here.
Well, I know. And well, it's also like, it is frustrating. This is such a small, stupid problem, but it's like frustrating when you like try to look at when you Google like what to watch on Halloween, or you try to look that up, and it's like all just straight horror movies, and it's like, that's cool, and I love horror movies. That's probably one of my favorite genres, if not my favorite genre.
Yeah.
But that's not Halloween to me. It's just strictly horror.
It's a one-dimensional look at what Halloween could be.
And Halloween is a lot more. I mean, I think even something like, it might be interesting just to watch something like Coco or like Day of the Dead or whatever.
Yeah.
The Book of Life. That's what.
Yeah.
Not Day of the Dead. Book of Life. It might be interesting to watch that because then you get another kind of like another look at the holiday, which has this spiritual, fantastical element to it, which is just missing if you just watch Halloween.
Yeah.
Because if you watch Halloween, it's a great masterpiece in my opinion, but it's not necessarily Halloween-y.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was thinking of movies like The Thing, where it's just like that. I could see that being on that list, but very unrelated to the holiday of Halloween.
I mean, I think what's nice is the Universal monster movies like Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman. They're so ingrained into the zeitgeist of Halloween and the pop culture. So that kind of it makes it easier in that regards, because vampires, werewolves, mummies, zombies, that kind of like, that makes it easier because, those things are inherently Halloween-y, and like when you think of Halloween iconography, you think of those things.
Yeah. Those are like the bedrock of Halloween.
But those things aren't necessarily Halloween vibes, but they can't. I mean, this is so vague, and it's I can make charts off of this and I'd probably never find the answer. But like,
this could be a Halloween movie of itself, of a scientist gone mad trying to find the perfect Halloween movie.
I know. But I mean,
tune in next year for Dune Productions' next feature film.
Let me go down let me see what of these like I think are absolutely essential, like for anyone to watch on Halloween.
I think we both agree Over the Garden Wall.
Over the Garden Wall.
A staple. We won't shut up about it.
Over the Garden Wall. I do think Halloween, genuinely, I think that is something you just have to watch during the month. Halloween Tree, the TV film, that's a fantastic Halloween.
Now, here's a
movie.
question. I'm going to throw a wrench in here again.
Okay.
Nightmare Before Christmas. When do you watch it?
I think it's a Christmas movie
Okay.
because it starts on Halloween.
But it goes to Christmas.
It goes to Christmas. If it was Christmas, then it goes to Halloween, I'd say.
The other way around.
See, I mean, because Halloween takes place during the first 5 minutes. That's
Yeah,
it.
and then it ends. Yeah.
Then it ends.
Yeah.
I mean, it is set in a Halloween town.
It got the Halloween vibes.
It got the Halloween vibes for like the first bit, but it transitions into Christmas so like quickly for me. So I would say that's more of a Christmas.
You know what's
movie.
a fall movie that I just realized?
What?
James and the Giant Peach would be one
Is
I
it?
think could kind of fit into that. I don't know why. I think it's got weird Halloween vibes in a way.
Got those warm colors.
It's
yeah.
got that. I think it would be one of those ones that would go in between, like maybe like a Wednesday, if we're going with that same
Yeah.
structure we're
Pattern.
talking about. Sorry, keep going on.
No.
I'm gonna derail us
It's fine.
on this already insane adventure we're on.
What do we see? Over the Garden Wall, Halloween, Halloween Tree, Monster House,
Monster House is one I want to watch this year. It's been a
Monster
while.
House, Pumpkinhead, Sleepy Hollow. Genuinely,
say
the
Sleepy
Tim
Hollow.
Burton Sleepy Hollow movie. As a whole, I think the Adventures of Ichabod Crane and Mr. Toad. I think the two of them
Yeah.
together have very fall Halloween vibes. I mean, Mr. Toad looks very set, like it's during Halloween, but Sleepy Hollow, the animated version, is like that's
Pure Halloween.
that's Halloween. That's
He's got a pumpkin head. I mean, what more do you want?
in my opinion, that animated movie, the Sleepy Hollow part of it, that's like the perfect Halloween movie.
Yep. That's just a fun movie.
Yeah, I mean that might be it in terms of movies. For me, I think the ones that you like just have to watch every year, but then what you pepper in between kind of will vary.
Yeah.
I'm looking if there's any like Halloween specials too that are like particularly stand out. Obviously the Charlie Brown.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I feel like there's probably some Goosebumps episodes that
Oh
fit
man,
the bill
that
really
and
well.
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Tales from the Crypt kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Those are just whatever you prefer.
Yeah. Gravity Falls has one that's like remember
yeah.
do you remember that?
Which episode?
It's did I write it down? Season 1, episode 12. I have the set. I don't know what it's called, but it's not on Halloween, but they celebrate Halloween in July.
Oh, 'cause
That's like
it's-
the gag, and they're carving like watermelons. But it feels very Halloweeny, even though it's set in July. It definitely got those vibes down. The Simpsons, Treehouse Horror. Like the first a couple of those were like those are like quintessential Halloween watching, I think.
What was the name of what was the Gravity Falls? Was it season 1, episode 12, you said?
Yeah, season 1, episode 12.
What is it? Oh, Summerween. Oh, okay, I do this
Summerween.
one because it has the guy with
Yeah.
the candy.
Yeah.
No, I totally know what you're talking about. Yes. That's a good episode.
Yeah. But then the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, which it's turned into more of like movie parody
Yeah.
recently, but like the first, I mean, there's still some great ones in there.
Like Simpsons, the further back you go, you kind of find those more classic episodes. So.
Yeah. And also like just any episode of What We Do in the Shadows is
Yeah.
pretty like strong with the Halloween vibes and whatnot.
Are there South Park Halloween specials? I don't remember.
There are.
I mean, I assume there are. It's
Now
South
I
Park.
don't have the titles written down, but I'm sure I've seen them.
Yeah, me
Season
too.
1, episode 7.
Okay.
I want to say it's the Corn Scooby Doo parody, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, I do remember that one.
Season 3, episode 10. Season 16.
How have we not brought up Scooby Doo?
Episode 12. Oh yeah, Scooby Doo. Any episodes of like the originals.
All of it is perfect.
And there's some of the movies that are set on Halloween, which are pretty.
Well, the second movie I
Good.
feel like is a really good Halloween vibes one.
Which one is that?
That's the one where like all the monsters get like reanimated to life that they faced over the years.
oh,
And so
you're
they
talking
have to-
about the movie.
I'm talking about the
Oh,
live
yeah.
actions.
Yeah.
I think the second live action is a good Halloween movie. 'Cause, I mean, it feels like dress up in a way. I don't know, just
Yeah.
the way the monsters feel. That feels like you're at a costume party.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And it's like, how could you watch any of this all in 1 month too?
No, this is again like you have the list so you can pick and choose and find your favorites. I mean, this list is so like anyone could take these movies and just take the ones they want and play around with it.
Well, also like I'm just like remembering more and more like the Addams Family and Addams Family Values. Those are pretty
yeah.
Halloweeny, I think. Someone here?
There's just someone out there. Is it your aunt?
Yeah, that's my aunt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's pretty. Yeah. Oh, Coraline also Paranorman. Those are really good ones.
The Leica stuff would be great. That's it. There's so much.
There really is a whole lot.
That's the best part about Halloween movies is there's something for everyone. Little Shop of Horrors. You got that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it definitely could. Also, I think now I haven't we haven't even touched the topic of like Disney TV movies too, because there's a whole lot of those. But like something like Under Wraps or Halloweentown, those are like really good ones. What is the point to what we're trying to say? What is the point?
Well, right now we're trying to classify Halloween movies and what we watch.
Yeah.
So.
And I guess, I mean, getting back to that conversation of classifying Halloween movies, like setting a movie on Halloween or in October doesn't necessarily make it Halloweeny.
No.
But what I think is way more important, again, is those Halloween vibes. But obviously having it set on Halloween in October and those Halloween vibes, that's like getting all three of those. But you can have Halloween vibes even, and it might, like, I don't know. Like, because again, is Paranorman set on Halloween or not?
Oh, I don't remember. I don't think it is.
It's like, I think it's set during like a witch day.
Yeah, it's like its own little thing. It's fall, but it's not Halloween.
See, that's another good example, because it's like, it feels like it should be a Halloween movie, but it's not. So that would be like a great one to watch. Like, maybe you watch like, I don't know, you watch The Witch, then you watch Paranorman, then you watch,
oh, that's a great combination.
Charlie Brown Christmas or like Over the Garden Wall. But for me, honestly, like, it's got to be that perfect mixture of like set on Halloween vibes, got that magic in it. Because Halloween's not all about just murder and killing.
No.
As fun as that is. As fun as that stuff is, like, it's just like, it's kind of like spaceship, like Star Wars, like the spaceships and the effects are fun and cool. But at the end of the day, it's about the Jedi and the Force. And once you take Jedi and the Force out of it, it's just kind of a generic sci-fi thing that anything could do, really. What makes Star Wars unique is the Jedi and the Force. And I think what makes a Halloween movie unique is like Halloween, again, sounding sentimental, sounding cheesy, Halloween magic.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes a Halloween movie Halloween.
I think we're in an age where that's going to become more and more appreciated and recognized. I mean, fall culture, I don't know what to call it. Like, if you go on TikTok right now for more than 2 seconds, everything is an Over the Garden Wall song with the autumn fall filter thrown on it. And I'm there for it.
No, exactly. I love it.
It's great.
I think Halloween...
I think it's our generation's favorite holiday.
I agree. I think this is our generation's favorite holiday because growing up, there's so much reverence for Christmas that I got over it really quickly. Like, I'm like,
it's like our parents' generation's thing that they're like really into. Like, my mom decorates, and I love Christmas. Don't get me wrong, and I love the tradition around it. But that's kind of like Halloween's like the rebellious teenager to Christmas, where it's like I'm putting on eyeliner and I'm putting on my orange and black stockings and I'm going out to raise a riot in the town. Like, I think that's kind of fun. I think our generation like has just a unique experience with that, like growing up in the early 2000s and getting to go to school dressed up as Halloween characters and all kinds of stuff. I think it's just it lives in a different place in our heads.
Well, I think also Christmas, I shouldn't say Christmas actually. I should say like the December holiday season, because there's so many different holidays that are celebrated. Yeah. It has so many different meanings to different people that the idea of the season isn't so much like the meaning of Christmas. It's like the idea that time has meaning. Yeah. Whereas Halloween feels a little bit more like spooky, focused. Scary like there's one thing that Halloween is about, and it's kind of like about like the dead. It's kind of like spirits, about kind of magic in a strange way, which I think is equally as beautiful and great.
And candy.
and candy, which everybody likes candy. Oh,
Oh, cat!
my
We got
cat
a
wants
loud
inside. She
cat.
heard the conversation.
She's all about it. All right, we got a black cat coming on the show right now as a guest. Black cat, what's your favorite part of Halloween? You are more qualified to speak on this topic. I think the rest of us are.
This is an interesting fact. Did you know that black cats generally are not like adopted or taken? Like people like
Really?
when it comes to owning like say a gray cat or a black cat, people will like pick the other colored cat over the black one like most of the time.
See, I don't really love cats as much as I used to. Like, I grew up with cats, but if I was going to pick a cat, I would get one for, again, the Halloween vibe. So I'd go with the black cat. Like, it's got to provide an aesthetic
No, I agree.
beyond being just a cat.
Well, it's like I don't get that. Like, yeah, I'm with you. I'm like,
I mean, I get it for like, I would think of it as like, oh, if I'm getting my cat for my kids, I wouldn't want to get a black cat because what if it gets like hit by a car?
oh yeah,
That's where I would come from if I was really going to go against it.
yeah.
But also, I wouldn't let that really sway me.
I definitely think it's probably like a superstition thing because people are like, black cats are bad luck. But
Well, and also, there's probably people who think, oh, shoot, someone's going to take my cat because it's a black cat. I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
Either. I'm sure there's all kinds of reasons, but I would go for it.
yeah, yeah,
But then again, I'm a dog person, so.
yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's another. I think now that I think about it, I'm trying to think what's a movie like a Halloween movie where it's like all around like black cats, and I can't think of one. Like the only thing I can think of is like Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
That's where my head went first too.
She's got the black cat
Yeah.
who sometimes talks depending on the version.
I feel like there's one where the black cat like shows up a lot or like kind of comes in and out, but it's not like a central character. Like it's kind of pops in and out as an omen throughout the movie. But I don't even know what that movie is. I can just kind of picture some shots. But I think that's a more general statement anyway.
I think we got to make one now.
That would be pretty cool. Or Coraline's got a black cat throughout
Coraline
it.
has. Oh yes, that might be.
That's probably the one I can think of the most. It's
If you didn't know, folks, we are at a house where we're going to be shooting a Halloween movie, and now I'm like, I got to make a movie with this black cat. Like, I should just like follow it around. Not even for this Halloween. Let's shoot another movie about a black cat. Maya Deeren did that.
Really?
Pretty much. It's not a horror movie. Got cat hair in my mouth. She did. It's called a Day in the Life of a Cat, or like the life of a cat, and it's like just shots of her cat, I believe. So I could, if Maya Deeren could do it, I can do it. Completely switching topics, but still on the topic of Halloween.
Let's do it.
I think there's another aspect of Halloween movies which Over the Garden Wall gets at, The Witch gets at, Sleepy Hollow gets at, which is colonial America.
Yeah.
Which I can't explain why, but colonial America feels inherently Halloweeny to me, depending on how it's done.
Yes. We've got like the Salem witch trials, which is kind of that same thing.
That's probably why.
I bet, and Sleepy Hollow again is just that Eastern America thing.
Yeah, that East Coast.
Where you're gonna get like that Massachusetts, Vermont area kind of feel, where it's like fields, oak trees, and very colonial style homes.
And for me, I think that's part of the reason why Over the Garden Wall is kind of like the perfect thing to watch on Halloween, because it is spooky. It's set on Halloween. It has those strong Halloween and fall vibes, but it also touches on like American like culture in a weird way.
Yeah.
Not to say that the day isn't like exclusively for Americans, because I think other cultures around the world have their version of it. But I think
Halloween as its thing is very like, it has that kind of strong American,
like American
feel.
Suburban feel, which I can't tell you why, and we're not historians, so if we are wrong, please correct us, like send us an email or something. I would genuinely love to know, but I think Halloween feels like a genuinely like American thing. I'm pretty sure like other cultures, like I think probably like druids or like kind of that,
well,
like like those different culture. I'm sure there's like a celebration or like pagan kind of stuff. I'm sure there, or like Wicca. I'm sure there's spiritual holidays around the day none of which I'm well versed at. So again, if we're wrong, please correct us or educate. Like, because I would love to find out. But the idea of like trick or treating and costuming and like just what the commercialism of what Halloween has turned into, feels really American.
Yeah.
In a way where it's kind of this blend of like probably what was supposed to be really spiritual and special days turned into, what Halloween's become. But I kind of love it. But I'm also a dumb American, so like I'm sure there's problematic stuff with our holiday. But I mean, I don't know. I what I love about Halloween is it's like it does seem like a day where we're kind of more aware of spirits and like dead and that kind of stuff. And I love that. And there's also cool aesthetics to go along with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun shopping around Goodwill and finding all the pumpkin stuff out this time of year.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love carving pumpkins?
Yeah.
I mean, as we're talking, I'm coming up with so many different ideas for Halloween movies.
I know.
And I'm like, I got to focus on the one this year. Its potential has yet to be tapped in terms of film. I think when it comes to Christmas movies, there are far more Christmas movies than there are Halloween movies.
Once Hallmark takes over a genre, it's kind of reached its end.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. Is there a Hallmark for Halloween movies?
I'm sure
that would be so great.
I mean, I'm sure there is, but
I'll watch them. Send them our way, like if anyone's aware of that.
Hallmark, if you're watching or listening, feel free to send us your top playlist of Hallmark movies.
But also, like, that is something we haven't talked about our films so much now. But again, that is kind of like last year we made a Halloween movie. This year we're making another one, and that is kind of my goal with these movies that I'm directing is to like make 31 films that are set on Halloween or in October and have Halloween vibes. And that's kind of the goal, to kind of like make a series of 31 films that aren't like they're not like sequels or anything. They're like just kind
anthology.
of anthology. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. But the idea is like to get like 31 films that kind of sums up what this season is like.
Yeah.
Like if someone was, I don't know, from like, I don't know if they have Halloween in China, but like if someone came to America from China and was like, oh, what's Halloween about? Like it'd say it's like July. Like, okay, watch these movies and this is what we do here.
They'll think we're crazy.
I know.
If just from October, our first movie in that series is anything to go by.
Yeah.
And what the heck is this?
And I'm sure there's there's deeper meanings to all this stuff, all of which I'm unaware of because again, I'm a dumb American. So
yeah.
I would love to know more.
I agree. Just kidding.
Well, there's a drunk history episode.
Oh yeah.
Where there's a little segment about the beginnings of Halloween, and I'm not even gonna attempt to retell it because that person was drunk and retelling history, and I'm trying to remember it, which I saw.
Which makes it like double drunk.
Double drunk, yeah. But I think Halloween, as we know it, as Americans, did start in some little suburban town in America at some point. That's all I'm going to say. And I can't remember the episode, but there was a drunk history thing on it, which is really interesting.
It's fun going back and looking at old Halloween costumes. For like old, like 40s, 50s stuff. Those are
scary.
Cool.
Those are genuinely scary.
Like turnips, I think that they used to carve instead of pumpkins back in the day.
Yeah.
If I remember right. I got a little pack of stickers at Comic-Con this year, Rose City Comic-Con, and it was called Oh My Gourd. It was a bunch of pumpkin themed stickers, and one of them was little turnips that were carved.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There's
all kinds of weird stuff.
But also there's the
costumes are genuinely terrifying.
Yeah, they're like scary, and I don't know what it is about. Like maybe it's because they're kind of crudely made back then, or
it's just like that uncanny valley. I think is where it hits. But someone needs to make a movie with that.
We should make a movie.
We should, because dang, it's scary.
I'm trying to look. There's a piece of art that I have, which is like, this needs to be a movie, and I'll name it once I find it. But yeah, I also think there's like potential of the holiday. Like, it's not like, here's why we celebrate Halloween. It's like, it doesn't have this mythology that like Christmas has necessarily, or like the Christian version of Christmas or whatever, where it's like, here's why we celebrate this, because our Savior was born. But like, there isn't like, the great pumpkin was born on this day.
It
like,
just is. You just pick your your flavor of Halloween and go with it.
So it's kind of like this cool thing of like, you could like, I would love to see a movie, which I would love to make a movie like this, where it's like the fake origins of Halloween. Like, what's the Halloween story? Why do we celebrate this? But it's all made up.
Yeah.
Like, and just make it kind of mythic and fun and like a fairy tale.
Yeah.
Kind of like, did you ever see Santa Claus is Coming to Town?
No.
It's like this retelling of like how Santa became Santa. It's a
cool.
Santa origin story, but it's the stop motion from Rankin and Bass. I would love to see something like that, but for Halloween. And I have just found the thing, which is like, this feels so Halloween-y.
Oh, yeah, that you have that saved. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that just has that America going to school.
Yes.
Like, they're crossing to their schools, what it feels like almost.
I think it's just called Halloween by Bo Bartlett. That's the name of this piece. And this is like...
It's phenomenal.
It's like, yeah, that's Halloween right there.
Yeah. Dang, what a great painting.
I know. And the fog and everything.
It's wonderful. It captures it so well.
Yeah. Halloween is just different here. But again, I'm a dumb American. Maybe they do it like us, in Canada or like...
I'm sure they probably do it like us in Canada.
Yeah.
Of all the places.
Or like London or like other parts. I'm sure there's other similar things. But
we do it best.
Yeah. Says us who've never traveled to those other countries. Yeah, no, I mean, Halloween, I think, is really cool, really fun. And I think it's more than just horror movies. I mean, if you're going to take anything away from this conversation, I think, like, I don't know, think about what Halloween means to you, I guess. Because this is just our opinion.
Yeah.
So think about what Halloween means to you and, like, pick your movies based on that. Mm-hmm. I know we said that, like, Halloween isn't all about, like, murder and stuff, but hey, to you maybe it is, and that's cool too. Like, that's good for you. Like, again, just all our opinion. To me, us, it's like, it's Halloween magic, and if a movie has that Halloween magic, it's like, that's what Halloween is to us. And again, that's vague and it doesn't really help.
Yeah.
Classify.
Just know that your Halloween is just as valid as ours.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Exactly.
It's all good. We can all enjoy each other's Halloween. And I love that it is so broad, but there's the things that bring us together. Like, I was at the pumpkin patch yesterday, and like, you could see people who were like there because it's Halloween and it's their thing, like first day of the season. So there was like a couple I saw that were like so great. It was like, the more gothy kind of couple, but they had like dyed their hair orange and were wearing, like, they were in it for Halloween. Nice. It's like, dang, you guys, way to rock it. Like, and obviously that's not my style. We probably completely different vibes of Halloween, but it's like, hey, we're out here at the pumpkin patch. It's so cool to have the stuff that brings us together for the season.
I know, it's beautiful.
This is a cheesy episode.
I know. Well, it's beautiful. I mean, I'll just say it. I like Halloween better than Halloween is the best holiday in my opinion. Yeah. Or I said holiday is the best holiday. I think Halloween is the best holiday for me. I think it's
definitely the most fun. Like, I love the family stuff of like the winter season and like all that, like from Thanksgiving through Christmas. But dang, Halloween, like once October hits, like there's something different in the air. I don't know what it is.
We haven't talked about this actually. What do you do? Because now when you're a kid, you do trick or treating and whatnot. What do you do now to celebrate Halloween? Are you watching movies on Halloween, or what are you doing? Yeah,
every year it's kind of different. I've done a couple of years where I'll volunteer at like a kids carnival thing for Halloween. So some years I do that. This year I might, but I know the day before I have plans with some friends. We're going to do like an escape room, and then go hang out in costumes and watch a movie or something like that. So other than that, yeah, probably. I mean, movies is obviously for us like the big thing. Yeah, that's kind of how you punctuate an event or a time of year. But yeah, every year is different. Some years I've taken younger kids trick or treating, but I always love to dress up. I mean, you got to. Yeah, my girlfriend and I were planning our costumes today actually. So she might be. I think the direction we're going right now is like we're trying to think of like a cool couples but non-couples thing where it's like what's two characters from different franchises that would go well together. So she probably is gonna be Miss Frizzle and I'm gonna be Mr. Noodle. I know, isn't it? It's a funny combination, but I think it works.
That fits so well.
I think it does.
That's good.
We come up with that at Goodwill today. I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be fun. So yeah, that's the Halloween vibe this year. Yeah, something just like that. So what about you?
Well, Halloween. This is not why I love Halloween. But Halloween is also my birthday.
Oh, that's right.
Believe it or not.
That's
That's
right.
not why I love Halloween. But because it's my birthday, I genuinely like I like to just sit at home and just watch movies, honestly. That's where I'm like
Jordan's
happiest.
known for, if it's a special movie event, he'll like get the full smorgasbord of snacks and food. He used to have a YouTube channel or he still does, called Cinema Snacks.
I just don't post to it.
Yeah. So if you go watch that channel, you can get a taste of what it's like to be at one of Jordan's big movie events.
So honestly, what I like doing the most is just we'll put the bowls out for trick-or-treaters or whatever. I don't know how we're doing this year with COVID. What do you think the protocol is with COVID? Do people still trick-or-treat?
Oh, people are definitely
I
gonna
hope people
trick-or-treating.
do.
Oh, people are definitely going to trick-or-treat. I mean, we're 2 years into this thing almost now. People are going to totally trick-or-treat.
I mean, at the very least, just have the bowl of candy out. I think that's what we did last year.
I think as long as I'm sure some people are probably going to maybe make baggies where they'll
mask up.
prepackage them and
Just
mask up. Yeah, I mean, everyone's
be
going to be wearing a
courteous.
mask anyways because it's a Halloween costume. You're going to be fine. I don't
Yeah.
think it's going to change that much this year.
Yeah.
I think it's just at everyone's discretion.
Yeah. Anyways, like leaving stuff out for trick-or-treaters or whatever. But honestly, just locking myself in a room, turn off the lights, and watch some Halloween stuff.
Turn on some orange LEDs and
LEDs, yeah.
Yeah.
It's general, and I fluctuate because some years I have in the past just watched what's a movie that I like and I'll watch it. But now as I've gotten older, I'm like, what's a Halloweeny thing to watch?
Yeah.
Which has been Over the Garden Wall for the past few years. It's usually Over the Garden Wall or, something else. Because also the thing is because I'm sure people are like, hey, why don't you go out with friends or go do something? I've done the thing where you go out and it's almost always disappointing. Because and I feel like it's a special night and I don't want to waste that on
friends.
I'm fine with friends, but I've had nights where it's with their plans to go out and it's oh, everybody got drunk and I'm like,
That's the hard part with adult Halloween.
it's like some people just want to get wasted. Some people are just there to party and it's nothing really about the holiday, which is fine. That's your thing.
Everyone's flavor of Halloween.
That's just not my thing. So my idea of Halloween isn't walking around a city where all your friends are wasted and you got to drive them home.
And you're doing all that walking and you can't even trick or treat because you're an adult.
I know. Here's a hot take. I think if you show up to my house any age, I'll give you candy.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not one of those people who's
Parents should always get candy when they're out trick or treating with their kids. They're putting in the work. But even if you don't have kids,
because listen, there are people out there with mental things going on, and they that's fun for them. Yeah. And I'm not going to turn away anyone candy, but especially those people.
Yeah.
Because you never know what's going on, and some people, and even if you're a high schooler or an adult, if you show up with candy, as long as you're not weird or creepy.
If you're dressed up,
you get candy.
Yeah, it's easy as that.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing where maybe that stigma's gone. I feel like most people our age probably feels the same way.
Probably our age, yeah, but I mean,
older
none of people our age have houses.
Yeah, that's very true. Because when I was little, when we were younger, I feel like we probably both heard oh, you're too old for trick or treating.
Absolutely. Once you hit middle school, that started getting thrown around just depending on who you were.
It's really?
6th grade was probably the last year you could really go trick or treating and not get judged over it.
Yeah.
Even then, you're pushing it probably.
Yeah, it's a shame because I don't know. It's fun celebration. I feel like people should be able to go out and trick or treat.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd still if it was okay to trick or treat now, would I? Yeah. I'm not sure if I would. I love walking around and seeing the costumes in the neighborhoods lit up. I love that part.
Yeah.
It's
probably almost more fun to people watch.
Yeah, that's probably something I would do. Yeah. One year there's a famous pumpkin patch at Savi's Island where we're at. I remember one year I went to do the maze in the morning, Halloween morning. And it was really cool to be at a pumpkin patch on Halloween because I think most people go before.
Mm-hmm. Well, you gotta get your pumpkins to carve them and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So I that was pretty fun.
Were you dressed up?
I think I was. I think I was in middle school, and I think I had one mask, but that was it.
Nice.
Which is
The classic just wear a mask thing is pretty cool.
The classic teenager thing, so you don't have to, because you're kind of cynical and you want to be cool as a teenager, so it's like, hey, I'll just put on a mask, that way I don't have to look dorky, but it's like, just look dorky, it's cool.
Yeah, no one, literally no one is going to judge you.
Yeah.
Especially in Portland and Halloween and this time and day and age. People are going to love it.
People, yeah. This has nothing to do with movies anymore.
No, this is just about Halloween. This is the Halloween special, I guess.
This is a Halloween special.
You're welcome.
I feel like we should leave people with a schedule. Should we do that or no?
We'll just leave maybe just our recommendations for this year. Like if we got to pick
as if we haven't already done.
I know. Yeah. I mean, okay, we'll just reiterate, I guess. At the very least.
Kind of a wrap, because we're about an hour right
now?
We're
at 54 minutes.
Okay.
But I mean, probably a little less, but yeah.
Because this might take a bit to figure this out. So
yeah. Okay, I'm just going to start spitballing some movies, and we can kind of just, again, we'll just kind of be like, that.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of how it's going to generally be. So.
Or like we'll try to talk about this hypothetical schedule.
Yeah.
If you're going to do this.
I think I agree. Just getting those core Dracula, werewolf, Frankenstein, Invisible Man, does he fit in that list? Or is he a little on the peripheral?
Definitely not the new one. The new one
I'm thinking of the classics.
The classic one.
I don't know if as much.
I say if it's in between something like Frankenstein and Dracula.
Yeah, but not on its own.
But I don't think it. What's the best way to describe it? It's kind of like crowd surfing.
Yeah.
This is how I put it. Going through the month of Halloween, you are crowd surfing.
Yeah.
The really strong the movies with strong Halloween vibes and magic, they're the strongest one. Like literally, if it's a person that's lifting you up.
Yeah.
Movies like say Candyman or Beetlejuice, they're not as strong because they're not on Halloween, but they kind of feel a little Halloween. They're a little bit weaker.
Yeah.
What you don't want is to have a bunch of weak ones set up, because if you crowd surf over them, they're going to drop you.
Yeah.
Right. And then you lose that kind of Halloween high or whatever.
Then you're just
you want to pepper it in between. So you got to picture like you're like crowd surfing. Will that next person keep you going through the Halloween high, or will they carry you to the next one? And again, if you had like the new Invisible Man, again, great movie, just not, I don't think fits our definition of Halloweeny.
Yeah.
If you had like that, the new Invisible Man, like the Blair Witch Project,
Blair Witch is a good one.
like Dracula Untold, remember the action movie? Like, because it is Dracula, but it's not like a Halloween. Like if you had all those,
movie.
You're gonna be dropped and you're gonna fall on the ground. So you want to have like it organized in a way where it'll like they can carry you, get you there.
Yeah.
I can't remember what you just said. I'm so sorry.
I was just talking about the core monsters.
Oh, yes, the core monster. Yeah. So Dracula for sure. Frankenstein for sure. Those will keep you going. Yeah. Maybe they're not the strongest, but they're definitely
having those
there.
Peppered throughout, or like you set it up in a certain way, those I think are great. Like anyone can appreciate those in the Halloween season movies.
And it depends on what kind of thing you're going for, because there are people who probably love the Universal monsters and want their October month to be like focused more on the monster movies, and some people might want it more focused on the serial killer movies.
Yeah,
which there is a way to do that and still retain that Halloween thing.
Yeah,
but for me, I kind of try to get a nice variety of everything.
Yeah,
so you go to places like Halloween and Pumpkinhead, but also I also want to go to like the Universal monsters. I also want to get like that suburban America kind of thing going with like the Halloween tree. So we were going to give recommendations, and now
I think it's impossible now. Now it's just so broad.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so if you want a variety on Halloween, let's try to think of like a nice variety of like collection. So obviously Over the Garden Wall, I think
goes without saying.
Goes without saying. Halloween.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Of course.
Trick or Treat probably would be a good one.
Trick or Treat. I guess the month is like 4 weeks. 4 weeks, so you want at least 4 in there. Yeah. But again, there's also value into having it start off kind of, there's a way to do it.
Build into it.
Where you build into it, where as you go further into the month, the movies become more and more Halloween-y, which I guess is another way to do
like
it.
starting out with that more like Dracula Untold stuff, where it's got that name Dracula, but it's
I don't even
left
know
field Dracula.
Yeah, remember when we used to work at eWorks and we saw that preview
all the time.
Yeah,
that was like that's like half what I remember there.
That's all I remember of the movie.
That and one of the How to Train Your Dragon movies.
Yeah.
I had never seen them before. I didn't know how to pronounce the dad's name, and I remember mispronouncing it so many times, and I feel like a darn fool now looking back on those.
Yeah. We were going to give recommendations, and we're just dropping the ball here.
I'm so sorry, guys.
I guess if you go onto our YouTube channel, we did do a movie or a video where we talked about like 5 must-see Halloween movies for the season, which is kind of more. It's a collection of like lesser known but still known.
Yeah.
Like if you're into the whole Halloween thing, you probably already know about these, but to the general public, they probably aren't.
It's a little bit more below the surface.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's a good thing to check out next.
I would check out that list for sure. Once you've seen all those, I'm trying to think of a really obscure one. Oh, the Casper, the Ghost, the movie from the 90s, Casper.
Yeah.
That's kind of an interesting one.
I don't know if I've seen that one. I
'Cause
remember when it came out, but I don't think I saw it.
It feels like that one would go really well with like Addams Family,
Addams Family is a good
Casper, and then do Sleepy Hollow, and then you got like a 3 or 4 like Christina Ricci movies.
Yeah.
You see her grow up. She's like starts as a kid, and she's Wednesday Addams, and then she's the girl in Casper, and then she's Sleepy Hollow. She's what's her name?
Yeah.
Katrina Van Tassel.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. That might be a good way. Like, okay, actually, here might be better. What are Halloween movies that you would pair with each other? Like, if you're going to watch this movie, what's a movie you have to watch, like, either the next day or even that night?
I think Coraline and Monster House could go well together.
Yeah.
I think those could fit.
Yeah. And I think the key to the pairing, too, is, like, stronger Halloween movie can be supported by a lesser one, too.
Yeah.
To, like, make it easier. What else?
Gosh.
I think I already said this, but I think something like The Witch would go well with Paranorman.
Yeah.
Those two.
That would be a really cool pairing. I'm actually tempted to do that one this year.
Yeah. The Christina Ricci thing I just said, that's actually a great idea.
That's really cool.
So watch Addams Family Values, then Casper, then Sleepy Hollow. I think that's a nice kind of, it kind of ramps up into more Halloween kind of vibes. Even though Casper isn't like, it's not really Halloween-y, but it does have that spiritual aspect of like magic and everything.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think I think Wallace and Gromit, Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
Great
that would be good with like the Wolfman or something like that.
Yeah.
Probably.
Like Wolfman first, and then Wallace and Gromit. I think that'd be a fun juxtaposition. I'm trying to think what would go with, like, again, Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed, the greatest of the Scooby-Doo movies, in my humble opinion. Of the live-action ones, that's what I mean.
Scooby-Doo 2, because that one's all the monsters. That one's so much fun, too.
I know. Well,
that's a fun
go
movie.
Along with... I mean, you could either play it where you have some of those like Dracula, Frankenstein movies before, or you could go with like the Abbott and Costello and have it a more fun all around.
Yeah,
thing.
I think Abbott Costello would fit.
Yeah,
Costello, that would like fit pretty well. I think another thing that would be fun is doing. In the 90s, there was Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Francis Ford Coppola movie.
Oh yeah.
Pair that with Kenneth Branagh directed movie called Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. So it's these 2 movies made in the 90s where they kind of claim to be like, this is the as true to the original as we can make it. I think those 2 would make kind of a cool double feature.
That Frankenstein one was at Goodwill. I didn't pick it up because it was a DVD.
I have the letterboxed. I have the 4x3 cropped version of that.
I didn't check which one it was. Shoot, maybe I should go back and pick it up. I love the Mary Shelley book. That's one of my favorites. So maybe I should have picked that one up.
I think there've been enough adaptions of Dracula and Frankenstein where you honestly could do like, this is Dracula week, this is Frankenstein week,
you know what's a good one?
Huh?
The Van Helsing with
Hugh Jackman
and
Kate Beckinsale, yeah.
That's monster vibes with action. I could go with Dracula Untold almost as like an action like week.
Yeah, if you wanted more action stuff.
And what I Am Frankenstein or whatever. I never saw that one, but just an option.
You know, Underworld would be an interesting one. That like the first one in particular, first and second one.
Hellboy.
Hellboy. Oh yeah, that could work. I could see that.
If you want a more action-packed Halloween, there's your movies right there. You probably already know that, but in case you didn't, boy, we got a list for you.
I feel like also tagging on to the Christina Ricci thing, I feel like if you start off with Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, then go into the Addams Family, then Casper, then...
Is she in that?
She's not in Harry Potter 3, but I think that's a good, like, if we're talking kids' Halloween movies.
True.
I think that kind of... It's not a Tim Burton movie, but it kind of feels like it is.
Feels like it, yeah. I should watch Harry Potter 3 this year.
Yeah.
I haven't seen those in a long time. I just love all of that. Sirius Black is so good.
Yeah. I don't watch this one every year because it's one that I used to watch as a kid and I'll get kind of over it really quickly if I watch it too much. But like Hocus Pocus, that's another one. That's, I think that's a classic, obviously.
I've actually never seen Hocus Pocus.
It's pretty good. I've
heard a lot of good things. It's one I hear people talk about a lot. It's one of those cult classic ones.
It's one where I've seen it so many times though that if I can't watch it too much because otherwise I get bored of it or sick of it, and I don't want to get sick of it because it is a great movie. You got to watch Hocus Pocus if you haven't seen that.
I'll check it out this year. Maybe this might be the time.
What would be a good one to go? Because that one's about witches. It's a good like Disney movie.
You get like Sabrina in there if there's like a Sabrina movie.
Yeah, I'm not as versed in Sabrina.
I watched the TV show on ABC forever ago.
That's my biggest exposure to Sabrina.
Same. Yep.
I know the new series is supposed to be amazing.
Yeah, I want to watch it.
I've seen some of it, and it looks really good. Honestly, Hocus Pocus would go really well with another Disney. So Hocus Pocus, I'm not sure if that was TV movie or not. I think that was theatrical, right?
I think it was theatrical.
So Hocus Pocus would go really good with Under Wraps, which is a 90s Disney Channel movie about this kid who finds this mummy in the basement of this like old house.
Great.
Parts of it are scary, but like the mummy is played by the guy who voices Patrick Star.
Does he sound like it?
Yeah. So if you are a big fan of Patrick Star screaming and hollering, my phone.
Little Monsters would be another fun one from that like 90s era.
Yeah, you could do a whole you could go by decade even too. Yeah. That would be kind of an interesting way to do it, where you do like we're gonna do like the old Universal monsters is like the 30s and 40s. Then you go into like the 50s and or in 60s and kind of pair the decades together.
A movie genre I haven't talked about at all yet. That we'll just brush giant spider movies. That's a whole other horror Halloween vibe, like Eight-Legged Freaks.
Yeah.
I feel like the 2000s had a ton of those. Arachnophobia.
That made me think Harry Potter 2 could
Harry Potter 2, I was thinking that earlier
that could fit pretty well as a Halloween movie. I think you could make the argument.
First three, I think you could argue any of them. Yeah. They all kind of have that fall feel with the candles and everything. Harry Potter 1 probably the least, but...
That feels like a Christmas movie.
Yeah, you're right.
I think. What else? Halloweentown, I don't think we've talked about that one too much, but... No. The first one, I think, I can't remember the sequels as much, but the first one would be kind of an interesting, that would probably go well with Harry Potter, I would imagine.
Yeah. There's a lot of combinations there. I think we've given the people some good
we've given them some good ideas.
If you're listening to this still on, if you're listening to this still at all, especially if you're listening on YouTube, sorry, Spotify listeners, if you're listening on YouTube right now, what are some of your favorite Halloween movies? You should comment down below. We'd love to hear them.
Where can people message us?
If you want to reach out, Spotify listeners, you can find us on Instagram, on Facebook. Probably aren't using Facebook. Twitter is probably a better place. DM us wherever.
You could also email us at info@doomedproductions.net.
That's right. We have a website. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
But we do have a website.
I don't know how to access our analytics on that. Do you know?
I need to look.
Because I don't even know if people
I just
use
haven't
it.
looked. But yeah, those are all great places. Doomed Productions on Instagram, but the O's in Doomed are zeros because someone else made a Doomed Productions account.
We're better.
We should probably steal that from them. But yeah, we'd love to hear you guys' favorite scary movies. And if you want something that's a little more all over Halloween and October vibes, check out our feature film, October. It's about, well, Jordan, you know. What's it about? Tell us.
It's about a man who lives through 31 days in October. So we go through the entire month, and each day something weird happens.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's got those Halloween vibes. Dare we say it is on that quintessential Halloween list for us because it checks the boxes.
Well, I also think this isn't necessarily on Halloween. I think it's my favorite climax of ours.
Oh my goodness.
The climax,
100%.
the ending of the movie is easily my favorite. Like there's parts of it where I'm like, I'm not a huge fan of, but like the ending, I love the ending of our movie.
It's like, dang, we pulled that off.
Yeah.
It feels so us.
Yeah.
So check that out if you need something extra to throw into the mix this year, something new that you haven't seen yet. But thank you so much for listening to the Dune Productions podcast. We're happy to have you here. We put out episodes each Monday. So come back next Monday. Give us a follow on Spotify or a subscribe on YouTube. A like and a comment would also be wonderful. But until next time, we'll see you later.